This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be responding to two of the comments. Victor, his comment, and A198F on Mr. Beast. Okay. Right now, we are still doing the free typing session. So if you want to figure out your personality type, all you have to do is join our Facebook group and message our moderator Cody. He's the INFP. He does all the coordinations with your availability, and we'll get that done. We're only going to be doing that for a limited time, so just go ahead and get that done. We kind of want to have the most accurate MBTI type group, point blank period. That's one of our goals. So if you want to be typed, just go ahead and message Cody. But yeah, let's get into this. So Victor says, you should have more views. Eric Wynn, who generates multiple thousand views per video, said that Jenna Ortega can't be INTJ because they can be wordy and vague and descriptive. Is he confused? Is he talking about ENTPs? INTJs are direct. They're pretty direct, and usually when they're talking, they have a goal or task at mind, and that's part of being directed. They're not giving you information for you to make a choice. So yeah, I don't know where he gets his information from. I think he typed an ENTJ or something. We know ENTJs spit outcomes like it's nobody's business. So inaccurate there. I also saw that he typed Harry Styles ESFP. That is nuts. So I don't really want to say much about him because I don't really know him. But based off that, I would say he needs to be drug tested. But that's just me. But A1N8F, we're going to type Mr. Beast for you. So let's see. They have him as Johnny D. Donaldson. Okay, Mr. Beast. They have him as ENTJ with 2,200 votes. So that's quite a lot. They got him as ENTJ with 739, ENFJ with 247, and ENFP with 41. You guys know what we use. We use Linda Barrens metrics, interaction styles, temperament, and core values to type celebrities. So yeah. And from our metrics, it shows us that 50% of our viewers are not subscribed. So if you guys can please subscribe and join our Facebook group, man. We're doing our monthly call, I think in maybe 2 weeks, where we talk about our goals for the month. Everybody gets on there, and it's a way to keep our group going. It's a wonderful process. The goal this month is to be 11 members on at one time. Last month we had 11 on, so we want to beat that. I would like to get 15 slowly. I want to work all the way up to having 100 people on one call, so that I have to buy the next membership, the business one that has 300 people. So let's do that. But let's get into this.
Netflix, how much would you pay me? Yeah. We're in too deep. Every other day we'd have mental breakdowns. You're funny. You want a job? Just put this out there. I did not enjoy being married. Why is Jimmy Crowley? So, I make videos.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Colin and Samir Show. I'm Samir.
I'm Colin.
And every week on this channel, we talk about the latest in the world of creators. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe. All right, so I have a question for you. Can you describe to everyone watching where we are right now?
Yes. So, I got a mic on so I can move around a little bit. Yeah. I just bought this brand new studio and 100 acres of land around it. This is where we're filming all our videos not all, but all our indoor shoots going forward. I mean, ask me more questions. There's so much to talk about. It's impossible for me to list.
How much did this cost, and how long in the making has this been?
So the land around it, obviously the studio, the renovations and everything, and obviously we don't pay it all up front, but in total it'll cost over $10 million. But it's probably not a good way to start it, because there's so much explanation. It seems excessive. Why would you just buy this? You know what I mean? The reason we bought it.
Okay, this guy's coming off informative. Okay, this guy's coming off informative, but I'm gonna put an asterisk side of it. ENTJs are direct, so personality database, you might be in trouble already.
This is because of, I've spent the entire day explaining to you. We had office, and a bigger office, then a studio, then a bigger studio, then a third studio, and then and now it's consolidating, and it's it's a weird way to start it, because now it just sounds like I'm being expensive and lavish for no reason, when there's a strategic reason why.
There's a strategic reason why. Systematic, so, okay. So systematic there.
You started in your bedroom, right, at the cost of zero.
Exactly. But still, I'd love to work our way up, not just go, hey, look at this, because now I just seem like some dumb rich YouTuber.
Yeah, yeah.
So not only are we here in your, brand new studio, but we're here in your hometown.
Yeah.
And I think that's been one of the most interesting things to experience is spending a day with you here, even spending time with your mom, even some of the places.
Out of context. That's a fun sentence.
But even spending time here in your hometown, like we've met people who grew up with you.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Like everyone asks us, like, I think people know that we're from out of town. So they're like, hey, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're filming, some content. They're like, oh, with Mr. Beast? And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, I played baseball with him.
Really?
And it's really interesting to meet people and recognize like you are still in your hometown. Exactly. And a lot of people who are from small towns in the US, they think like, I got to get out of this town to find success. So why did you stay in this town and how do you think you found success staying here?
Honestly, it really was easier to just stay here. As I started making the videos bigger and bigger and hiring people, and I got warehouses and studios, like you get so anchored down. Like,
so you're talking about outcomes. He's talking about the end product here.
Town, like we've met people who grew up with you.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Like everyone asks us, like, I think people know that we're from out of town. So they're like, hey, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're filming, some content. They're like, oh, with Mr. Beast? And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, I played baseball with him.
Really?
And it's really interesting to meet people and recognize like you are still in your hometown. Exactly. And a lot of people who are from small towns in the US, they think like, I got to get out of this town to find success. So why did you stay in this town and how do you think you found success staying here?
Honestly, it really was easier to just stay here. As I started making the videos bigger and bigger and hiring people, and I got warehouses and studios, like you get so anchored down. Like, you're just gonna relocate all your employees to LA and buy a studio space there that costs 10 times more? Why? You know what I mean? Like, what are the negatives of being in a small town? I would argue with the internet.
He's talking about being effective, so I'm gonna put that down as pragmatic there. Okay, he's talking about being effective there. Not effective to do that, move to LA.
And things like Zoom where you can talk to everyone and we're so interconnected, like there really is no need to pay 12% more tax because of, state tax in California, and then on top of that pay like 3 to 5 times more for rent and all this other stuff. It's almost silly to be there for people in our position.
Did it ever cross your mind though that you're missing out on an opportunity to collaborate? Like,
not really.
Never.
No, I mean if you're good enough friends with someone, they'll come down. Like you guys came down here. You know what I mean? If there's someone I really want to hang out with, like, or I could just fly there when I need to. That bug's gonna annoy me. It's dead now. Thank you for getting rid of it. But like if I really want to hang out with someone, they can just come down. You know what I mean? It's like a 4-hour flight.
Yeah, I actually think on the inverse, spending the day with you and like shadowing what at least half a day looks like. I don't even think we saw your full day. We met up with you in the middle of the day.
That's true, yeah.
And it was like boom, boom, boom. We were going like thing to thing to thing. And I think what I realized was being somewhere like this, the positives actually outweigh the negatives so much in that there's so much focus.
Agreed.
And you are like, you're really moving from thing to thing to thing. Like I think we watched you workshop about 4 videos in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And that I thought was one of the most interesting things. And just sitting there in those meetings, understanding how you're thinking about what needs to happen. And then additionally, having the facilities and the team members who are ready to custom make things for the stories. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if people realize, I didn't realize, and I've been watching your videos, I've talked to you, we've interviewed you. I didn't realize that every set is like custom built for the video. Based
they have
on
to
the
come
story.
from somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, you would think that, okay, let's reuse that, or let's see how many videos we can film in this set.
Gotcha.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's part of the story.
Agreed.
So you started in your bedroom.
Yep.
At what point did you start investing into the videos at a different scale?
Great question. Literally put on me the entire time. When I used to make like $1 a day, I saved up for months and I bought a microphone, way worse than this microphone. And then I saved up for like half a year and I bought a computer. I the whole time I was like recording on my iPhone. So I was recording and editing on my iPhone when I first started, and then I got a microphone you can plug in, then I got a computer to edit on. And then after like 2 years of just filming on my phone, I had 100,000+ subscribers. But I still did have a camera because those things cost like $1,000. Or I was stupid. I didn't realize you could buy like a G7X for $400. So then I bought a camera. And after that, I bought monitors for my computer. And I just kept going and reinvesting. And then I tipped pizza delivery people $100. And then I tipped a homeless man $10,000. And then, gave away cars, gave away houses. And last hand, take hand off $1 million keeps it. And basically the entire time. So like for the last like 8 or 9 years, like every dollar I've made, I just spent it the next month on content. And I just did that every single month, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and here we are.
So you give away millions of dollars now, $500,000
so he's looking like systematic and pragmatic. Looking like an NT.
Like large sums of money. But when you first started giving away $5,000 or $10,000,
it's first started with $100. Literally, like even less than that, like donating like $10 to Twitch streamers and stuff like that. But like the first real IRL one, I would order a pizza and I'd tip $100. I think I did like 3 in that video, so it was like $300.
But when it gets to 10,000, that's when I think the people, and I would imagine people around you, like your mom, are probably like, Jimmy, what?
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
Exactly.
Like, what was her reaction to that?
Well, so I did my first brand deal. I'm sure you guys have heard the story, but for people that don't know, I was offered $5,000 for a video. But this was when I was like 19, and it was so much money. It's like, Mom, look, and I was like, double it, and I'll walk outside and I'll give it to a homeless person. And they're like, no, you won't. And that's like, double it. And I was like pacing around my neighborhood for 3 hours, convincing
that seems like TIFE there. And the reason why is because FE gets a kick out of helping other people. Okay, he's getting a kick out of helping other people. He actually cares about like helping other people.
This guy, like on the phone, just double the money. I promise the video will go viral, and I'll give it to homeless person. I was like $10,000.
$10,000. I promise you the outcome. He's looking at the outcome. He knows the outcome. Give me 10,000. I know it's gonna go viral. That's the outcome.
It's better in a title. It'll get more views. I promise your app will do better. And I ended up getting $10,000 and then gave it away. And my mom's like, why don't you just give away $8,000, $9,000? Why all $10,000? I was like, Mom, it'll look better at the title. And it's just better.
It'll look better at the title. Yet again, more outcome. So he's looking like either ENTJ or INTP, because we got systematic and outcome and pragmatic, TIFE. So it's looking more, and the formula looks like he might be INTP.
And that's basically that.
Yeah. How did you know that, giving away $100? I guess it's natural, but like, why does it make such good content? Like, why do those things?
I think it's something I've always enjoyed. Like, even when I was, I don't want to say poor. I don't want to over dramatize my story. Like, we weren't ever that poor, but when I didn't have as much money, if I saw a homeless person, I would, open my wallet and give them almost all the money I had.
FE. There we go. Wants to help people. FE cares about helping people because it makes him feel good.
It's just fun, because then you see the reaction, their face light up, stuff like that. And so it kind of was just something I always enjoyed, because there were so much easier ways to get views back then than like having to give away money and less stressful stuff. But I just enjoyed it. And I thought it was interesting to see people's reactions and like to try to like, they're expecting $1 and you give them 100 and they're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a mixture of what I thought was interesting, but also what I enjoy, if that makes sense.
Were there other people when you were growing up making YouTube videos?
Around me?
Yeah.
No. That was the biggest problem, is I thought it was a freak of nature, because like people would tell me, all you do is talk about YouTube. You're too obsessed with YouTube. Like, get a life. Like from 13 to like 19, I never met anyone who cared about YouTube, like not even an ounce. And so I was so untalkative. People thought like there was problems with me because I just wouldn't talk to anyone, because all I would do is talk about YouTube. And after a while, like you realize like no one cares. Like you just get labeled as the guy that just only likes YouTube. And so I kind of just like didn't talk at all. And then when I was 19, then I had like 10,000 subscribers. Maybe it was like 18. And that's when I started meeting a few other YouTubers online. And I realized like, I'm not a freak. I'm just like obsessed with YouTube, and that's okay. You just got to find other people that are like that. Most people want to talk about South Park when you're younger, or when I was younger, or cartoons or whatever. And I back then was figuring out how to drop ship or how to better edit a video or stuff like that. Like bring that up at a high school lunch table. Well,
talking about being effective, pragmatic, and outcome. Okay.
People care. Yeah. Bring that up at a high school lunch table 10 years ago and see what they say. They're like, what the f*** are you talking about?
What's interesting is I went back and
the fuck you talking about? Pragmatic and...
I did this a while ago, but I did it recently again, where I go to oldest uploaded videos on your channel. You have some videos that are actually kind of similar to the videos we make, where you were talking about other creators and how they were growing.
Yeah, back when I did Call of Duty commentaries. Yeah.
So you would play Call of Duty and then you would talk about other creators. I thought that was really interesting to watch.
Studied so hardcore. Like I don't remember the YouTuber's name, but some YouTubers ad revenue, he was hacked and it was leaked, and it showed that he made like 300 grand over 3 years. And I made like 2 videos on that, and I was just so shocked. I was like, guys, and I remember like telling everyone I know, and they're all like, who cares? I was like, guys, YouTubers can make money. Like, I thought it was just cool to be. Did you know they can make money? I'm like a stupid teenager, like really young. I was like, how is this possible? I was like, that's so much money. That's more than like my mom makes, you know, in like so many years. And I was mind blown by it. And like I would find stuff like that and just make videos on it.
He's saying cool. A lot of I did this, like, I did this, I did that. That's SINE. He's coming from first person perspective a lot. So yeah, it's looking like this guy's an INTP, but we're not done. We're not done.
We're uploading Minecraft videos, Call of Duty videos. Did you have like a community when you first started uploading? Like, did you notice people in the comments that were the same people? Not really. No,
there's like maybe like 2 or 3 people that would comment on each. And back then, which I think small YouTubers should do, is I would reply to every single comment. And so I think a few people caught on.
Talking about the best thing to do again to be effective, that could be systematic and pragmatic.
Reply. And so some people would just be like, I wonder how long it'll take for him to reply. And like, so that was a lot of my comments when I was smaller, but at least it kept him coming back. And it's like, it got to a point though where I was getting hundreds a day, and I was like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't spend an hour a day doing comments.
Talking about being effective again.
What type of content did you start feeling like, oh, okay, now there's a like consistent subscriber base coming back to watch these videos?
It's a hard one. That one, I honestly have no idea. Like, it's so long ago, it's all like a blur. Like, I just remember like making videos, and I remember being like, dang, like everyone's telling me like, you're stupid, you know, you're very awkward, like, you know, why would you make it? There's millions of people trying. And I just remember being like, I don't know, I just like it. I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna die trying, kind of thing. Also, I was a big pussy back then, but I just
he's constantly crazy. He's pragmatic, so so pragmatic eliminates all the affiliative types. So because he's pragmatic, that's means like rebellious, contrarian, talks about doing what's effective. That automatically makes him either SP or NT. Just being pragmatic, okay?
Or just grinding year after year. There's probably some blur between when I was 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there. It just started to get a little bit of views, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like sports is probably the most
it's really like the only thing to
right?
do.
Like that's like the accepted thing here. Everywhere you drive, it's like
a baseball field, there's basketball courts, soccer,
We met someone today, and they said they played baseball with you, and then they also said that Chandler was really good at basketball.
Yeah, that's good,
So maybe we'll have to take him on next.
I'll invite him over tonight.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
We'll take him on. Like, I mean,
that was good.
The footage isn't going to show, but I'll just show one clip from the basketball game.
We played basketball last night, and I think they scored like 2 points.
Okay, 4, by the way.
It finished 10-4.
10-4. Oh, okay.
At the time we started filming,
it was me and Sapnap versus them. And he scored like 1 basket. He's like, look, the clip you showed me before this.
Also, I just want to say that I had a steal before the basket.
That's
so
true.
I had the assist.
Double highlight.
It's interesting because it does seem like sports is like the most accepted thing here, but you dedicated yourself to something completely different. And did you mind at all that feeling of like everyone being like, what are you doing?
Well, of course. I mean, it's weird. I think the problem is like I told this story years ago, it probably would have helped. It's so much more acceptable now. Like everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Everyone wants to be a TikToker. Like
talking about what other people want. That's any. Everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to do that. Any.
Growing up now, like you can just tell by the people and the numbers and explosion of social media that like it's a lot more widely accepted. And also it might also be where I grew up in North Carolina. It's different than LA, but back then like it really just was a strange thing, you know what I mean, to like want to dedicate your life to being a YouTuber and being that obsessed. And so for me, like there's probably like 0 people within a 1-hour radius of me that actually loved YouTube like I did and anything like that. So it's just like if you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it. It's like,
you know what types are excessive? NTs are obsessive. Watch them. They get really obsessive about things.
You just feel like a weirdo, you know, like an outcast. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, I just need to find different people. I thought like, my whole life I'll just never enjoy talking to people.
I thought I would just never enjoy talking to people. That's T.I. You said some other T.I. statements.
I had other YouTubers, and then I started talking to them like 10 hours a day, and I was like, then that's when the channel really started taking off.
Yeah, one thing you said to us yesterday, you sat and like kind of roasted some of our content, our videos, and it was like so informational and educational for us. And it's not stuff that you haven't told us before, but being around it is so important, right? Like sitting in your meetings and understanding. How important was that for you to develop a community online of fans? Of friends.
Friends. Yeah, beyond important. Like, that's just where you just, so like, imagine a world where it's just you working solo and you work 12 hours a day.
Imagine a world, abstract. What?
Every day for like a year. And you're just grinding, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that.
Learn from it, mistake, outcome. So with him being pragmatic and outcome, he can only be ESTP, ENTJ, ISFP, and INTP. Okay, and we only need one more point for systematic, and that would make him only ENTJ or INTP. So yeah.
For like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday. He teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. You're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. It really does make a difference, especially like my friend group when I was like, I met a bunch of people when I had 10,000 subscribers, and we all we agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. That's literally all we did. It's wild. Like I've told this story before, but for people who didn't listen to our other podcasts, like one day I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call. And then I went to bed, and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends and stuff like that. I don't even know how I got food. Like, pretty sure I was
studying
just ordering
trends,
food, so I didn't even have to leave my house, so we could keep working. Like,
studying trends.
It was that level of obsession. It was just dumb. It was so unhealthy.
Do you still talk to some of those people?
Oh, I talked to all of them. Well, not all of them. I talked to most of them.
Wow.
Are any of them here in person with you now?
No. One of them, his name's Dylan.
He's Dylan, the guy I talked to.
Yeah,
too?
exactly.
Dude, he was. Yeah, I thought about him for the next week after that. After
He's
I
so
chatted
smart.
with him.
Yeah, he's good.
Super sharp. I told Colin about him too. Rebound.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Really sharp.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And so he's always been kind of like my sounding board. And like, if I have a question, like I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like he's usually pretty good at helping me think it out. Like I've probably spent 10,000 hours talking to him over the course of like the last 6 years. It's wild.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that, you made all of these friends and you had to Skype them, right? Like no one was here with you in person. But when we were spending time with you yesterday, I mean, there's people everywhere. Serious organization.
Not only are there...
That was back when I edited my videos, set them all up, tore them all down, did literally everything all by myself. I didn't have like a single employee until like 4 years ago.
So like personally for me, it's been tough for me to add employees because I have a hard time like giving up control, and I don't always know how to manage.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's like a really good strength of Samir's. How did you go from even just making that decision to hire one person?
It was brutally hard for me, man. The first one was just an editor, and even then it's like, because I'm so particular on how I wanted it. And I also didn't have an office or anything when I first started, so I just set up a computer in my room, and he would come over and edit the videos after I finished, and I would just watch him edit. And then I would just be like, why'd you cut that? Why didn't you cut this?
That's every editor's dream, is to have someone sit there and it's a nightmare.
I know. But I was like, well, every YouTuber says it. It's like, no one will ever be able to replicate my style. I got to edit it. But newsflash, someone can. It's actually not as difficult as you think. But back then, I'm a teenager. I didn't understand that. At the start, it was just a lot of like micromanaging like that. But even then, it still freed up so much time. Because I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I can't stand editing. I had edited probably like 1,000 plus videos in my life at that point between that channel and other things I had done. I was just like, I just don't want to do this. I just want to make videos. And so that first one, and then I just was like, oh, why don't I I think I did a video where we like smashed 4,000 plates, like dropped them to see how they'd break. And it's like, well, why don't I hire just someone to help me pick up these plates and, hire someone to help with this. And then it just, I started with like 2 or 3 people, and then every month I just hire someone else as the videos got bigger, and here we are 4 years later.
Yeah. Almost every podcast I feel like you've been on, or every time you talk about YouTube, you always talk about how you reinvest everything back into the channel.
Literally everything.
And I think spending time with you here, what I noticed is that's actually not just money, it's time. you also reinvest all of your time.
You gotta live and breathe it.
Yeah, you invest all of your time into it. And I think that's something that is beneficial of being where you are, is that you have that ability. And then also, the concept of hiring is just so that you have more time to invest.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and that's
that
where
a
lot of people, like, again, the thing is everyone has different priorities. You know, if you want to make a few $100,000 a year and just, coast or whatever, like, not everyone has
talking about what other people want.
But
any again.
if you really do want to be the best you can possibly be the biggest YouTuber, you should look at hiring as a way to free up your time so you can do more important things. And even then, and
talking about doing this because it's outcome. Do this because outcome.
Optimize every little minute. And anything that isn't work, you should outsource to someone else so you can recharge, so you can work again. You know what I mean?
Outcome.
So we also went to multiple spaces while we were here.
Yep.
When did you start filming, or when did you get your first space outside of your bedroom?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, the videos just kept getting so much bigger. I can't tell you which video, but it just if you watch my videos, when I stopped filming in my room and I started filming outside, it gets so hot here. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to just film outside, and I burn so easily. And so then we got
talking about his SI experience. So that is it, man. He's an SINE user. So with him being outcome, SINE, systematic, pragmatic, that automatically makes him INTP. So Mr. Beast is an INTP. He's an SI user. He's talking from a first perspective. He talks about what other people want. That's the NE. I did this, I did this, I did that. Talking about his SI experience, I burn very easily. Oh, it was so hot, that's a SI. Internal sensation. So with him being pragmatic, outcome focused, SINE, that's pretty much dead. INTP. So Mr. Beast is an INTP. Personality database got him wrong. They often do that a lot. They will type INTPs as ENTJs. I think they typed. I'm not sure. I think Bill Gates, they had for a while, that had him as a ENTJ, and you can just look at him. You can just see the SE trickster in INTPs. Like, their dressing game is not like an ENTJ's is. Like, it's just not there. Usually you can pick it up a lot with SE trickster. But yeah, Mr. Beast is a INTP, and they're wrong. They got none but extroverts on here. With him being outcome, SINE, systematic, that just makes him INTP. ENTJs are SENI, so they're constantly talking about what other people are doing. If he was an ENTJ, he would have been saying, I saw this person do this, and then I did this. I saw this person do this, and now I did this. Or because this person did it, I did this. You hear that a lot from SE Child, which is what ENTJs have. You didn't see that at all. He said they asked him flat out, like, where did you have anybody in YouTube around you? And he was like, no, not anything wrong. As the ENTJs, they observe what other people are doing, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, they did this, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so yeah. Like we said, we are still doing typing sessions. So if you want to be typed for free, all you have to do is message, join our group, and then message Cody, and we'll get that done. I want to try to get at least 8 done this week. So let's do that. But this is Mongolian Mindset, and we're out, and we'll keep responding to comments.